All right, boys and girls, welcome aboard. It is time for Super Bowl 58 NFL Pregame Party. I'm your host, Joe's Atmosphere, and I'm joined by everybody, including my brother. What's up? They all made it for the big day. And, and Das Wolfen, whose team is playing in the game, got his ears lowered for it. What the hell, man?
Yeah.
You had to look fresh this morning? Is that what it is?
Well, I mean, I got it. Actually, got it on Friday, but
yeah, I hear you.
Looks good.
He's game ready.
He is game ready, no doubt. Super Bowl Sunday.
Super Bowl 58.
Oh, you got a 58 jersey.
And I'm wearing Derek Thomas.
Yes, Derek Thomas. I was fixing to say, we all know who 58 is.
R.I.P.
Yeah, no doubt. One of the greatest linebackers ever to play the game. Does he still have the sack record for a single game?
Yep.
How many did he have in that game? Seven sacks in one game. Had to be against the Texans, right?
Who was that against? Was that against Seattle?
Well, it wouldn't have been against the Texans.
No, it was pre-Texans, wasn't it? Yeah. Texans didn't come around to 2001. He played in the 90s, right? Didn't he?
Well, he died in 2000, yeah.
Right. Great linebacker, though. That guy was a beast.
Well, and that's one of those where I remember where I was when I heard about him passing. I was
Seattle Seahawks.
Was it against the Seahawks?
November 11th, 1990.
What? 1990? So he sacked Dave Craig friggin' 7 times.
Fantastic. I thought that's what that was. I remember that game, and Dave Craig was just getting killed. Yeah.
He probably wasn't the only person to ever sack Dave Craig. I'm just throwing that out there.
I believe Dave Craig, he set all the passing records for the Seahawks at the time, but he also had the fumble record because he had notoriously small hands. You know how they were talking about Kenny Pickett's small hands this year? He was one of the first ones that they bitched about his hands because, man, he could throw a football, man, but damn, you breathed on him. I'm sure Derek forced a couple fumbles in that game.
But I remember where
if you get hit enough, 7 sacks in one game, you're going to fumble the ball.
There are some railroad tracks that run in front of my high school, and I was sitting at the intersection, waiting for like a train to pass. When I heard on the radio that Derek Thomas had passed away, and again, I think I was like leaving my high school for the day or whatever.
Now, what was it? He was a young guy. Was it cancer?
No. He got in a car wreck over New Year's Eve.
Yeah, it was. Wow. I think icy, snowy conditions.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
And he lingered in the hospital, and he got complications and passed on.
Yeah.
Wasn't he paralyzed initially after that accident, and then he succumbed to other things?
It's a shame. Yeah, we remember stuff like that today, man. You remember all the great players you watched over the years and stuff, you know.
I do have some breaking Chiefs news.
Uh-oh. What you got, bro?
And what's sure to be a blow to the 49ers, Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore are both out.
Oh. What a bummer. What?
Well, that's a strategic advantage.
Yeah, are we sure they're
on top of that? I have other breaking news. Taylor Swift made it.
Yep,
he had touchdown in Los Angeles
last night.
So she made it from Japan, safety town. So
we have
more advantage. We are all set for that marriage proposal at the 50-yard line.
Right.
The script is in.
I believe the theme for the day is going to be
to be the man. You gotta beat the man.
Yeah,
and that's what I believe.
Hey, man, you see what I'm wearing? I'm supporting my co-host, man. I'm pulling for the Chiefs.
Wait, that's a bad thing. Oh, well,
hey,
okay.
I know it's a bad thing. But you guys can continue to believe that the No Joe is a real thing, but I've been wearing this jersey the entire playoffs. Have they lost a game yet? No,
nope,
they haven't. So, hey, that's just the way it is, boys and girls. Besides,
as long as JoJo doesn't say things like they're absolutely guaranteed going to win, there's no way that the 49ers can ever beat the Chiefs. As long as he doesn't say things like that, then you're safe.
Well, what I'm just waiting for is, we get the announcement that, around 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, that Usher has laryngitis, and they're like, is there anybody in the stadium that can headline this thing?
Right.
Oh, wait a minute. We got somebody. We got a blonde up in the box.
I expect her to show up on stage with him. That's what I expect. I would not be shocked at all if he shows up on stage with Usher.
Are we going to talk about football, or are we just?
Yeah, we're going to talk about football, man. But hey, it is a thing, dude. It is a thing. Tim is here first, as usual, and the lovely Allie is here supporting her boyfriend. What's up? Good to see you. Mm-hmm. Okay, so boys and girls, we all know why we're here today. The NFL's big game is this evening at
Usher at halftime. Yeah. Oh, and there's a football game.
Yeah, and there's a football game. Yeah, there happens to be a football game, which should be a really good one. I mean, both of these. I mean, I think we were really after watching the regular season, I think we were expecting 49ers Ravens. I think that's what everybody was expecting. But, yeah, the Chiefs just – I mean, as if they haven't cemented it yet, they're the next dynasty if they win this one. If they pull this off, it'll be 3 Super Bowls in 5 years. Of course, the measuring stick is 3 and 4, which the Patriots and the Dallas Cowboys of the 90s did, but still, that's pretty impressive.
Nobody's three-peated, though, so they haven't.
No, nobody has three-peated. So, yeah. They've been in 4 of the last 5 Super Bowls. I mean, I consider them a dynasty right now, but this is
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, they are dominant. They are the dominant team in the AFC. They're the dominant team in the NFL, and again,
to be the man, you gotta beat the man.
Yes, you do. And Buffalo couldn't do it. They were, I didn't expect them to, because they really had to go on a long run about mid-season just to get to where they were at, because they had lost several games in a row and had to make staff changes and all kinds of things to get them there. But the Ravens one shocked me, though. That really shocked me, the Ravens showing up the way they did. I just it was really weird to me after seeing
the way the Chiefs physically beat up on the Ravens in Baltimore. That was really surprising.
You don't, especially, I mean, the Chiefs didn't look good down the stretch. They were struggling with teams down the stretch, and of course we say that, but we got to remember that every time somebody plays the Chiefs, they treat it like it's their Super Bowl. So they're going to get their best shot every time. Got to consider that too. But they, when you look at it, they weren't looking good down the stretch. Well, and then they just, everybody was asking, can they flip the switch? And all of a sudden they get the postseason. Guys stop dropping balls.
But what was always looking good for the Chiefs throughout the season and just continued to get better?
The defense kept them in every game. Yeah. And that's what wins you championships. And I just got done watching. NFL Network likes to show the old Super Bowls with the 2 teams in them. Yeah. And I texted you about it, but you never got back to me, John.
I went to the con yesterday. So
I was watching Super Bowl 54 the other morning, and Steve Spagnuolo has been a constant for this championship run of the Chiefs. Yep. He is a great defensive mind. He might be one of those coaches that isn't a head coach. He had that one shot. What team was he? He was the head coach of
Redskins, I believe.
Yeah, and it didn't really work out for him. But man, that guy can call a defense. It's insane. And let's not forget, every great defense is anchored by one great player, and it's obvious. If it's not obvious to you by now, some of the pieces change, but Chris Jones has been in the middle of that defense the entire run. So, and he is just a force of nature. I forgot all about the deflected balls in that friggin' Super Bowl that they beat the Niners in. He was just he had his paw up on every passing play, man. It was ridiculous.
He's got that huge wingspan.
Yeah, the guy's massive. It's almost like I was thinking about that, Dan. You remember Belichick built his first defense around Richard Seymour, and that's what I was thinking of when I watched it. I was like, my God, this guy.
Yeah, he's so disruptive up right in the middle, and which if you can be disruptive in the middle of an offense, then you can really destroy what they're trying to do. And they're strong at the linebacker and free safety. They are strong up the middle, and they've just gotten better as the season's gone on.
Yep. They have, man.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
Well, I thought the Ravens were going to have a good chance against them because even though, yes, Chris Jones is disruptive, Lamar can make things happen. Roll right, roll left, whatever.
Yeah.
But the Ravens, man, they blew a lot of opportunities last week or 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did. They did.
I'm still trying to figure out how Lamar Jackson got
on the goal line. I don't, man.
Yeah,
people got to stop reaching, so damn much. These defenders are getting better at swatting it out.
Yeah.
Well, that I don't think we're going to see much out of the Niners today. That's for sure, because the team on the other side of the ball, they like to beat you up at every position. Now, they haven't looked like world beaters in this playoff run. I got to say that. They struggled against the Pack, which shocked me. I mean, the Pack were coming on and everything, but I really thought with an extra week that they'd smash that team, and they didn't. They struggled against them. And then in we'll talk about the championship games individually. Let me go ahead and pull them up. What's going on, Tim Hayes? Good to see you. Let me go ahead and get this up here, guys. We'll talk about the championship games individually. We'll start with the Chiefs and the Ravens. We're already talking about it. Yeah, they really – I mean, how much is it Lamar nutting up in the big moment, or is it the Chiefs defense just containing him and getting it done? I think it was the Chiefs defense because, man – those blitzes were effective against him, man, and really
they were effective, and they stayed in their rush lanes. They did not give him alleys to get out.
Yeah,
they really didn't.
Absolutely, man.
We locked him down to where he wasn't running outside like he likes to do.
Right.
And that roll out, roll left, because he doesn't drop back like Pat does. Pat will drop back.
Decide and extends plays for 7, 8, 9 seconds. I mean. Anybody can get open after that amount of time, but when he can't do that, wow, does it change that team? It changes what they're trying to do. Of course, what's impressive to me, and this speaks more to the defense, really, they didn't score a point in the second half. The Chiefs didn't. You would have thought that's when they would have made their comeback. They scored all 17 points in the first half.
Yep.
So, it was impressive. That defense of the Chiefs, and it's Chris Jones, it's the role players doing their jobs, and Spagnola's got them ready to play every game. So, I hope these guys don't go to sleep on them. That's for sure. And
I believe that may have been the Ravens' first possession where they scored.
Yeah, it was. They went right down the field on them like it was easy.
Yeah,
I thought it was on after that. I was like, oh, shit, look out. Patrick Mahomes better have eaten his Wheaties. Good Lord,
I just think someone needs to tell Odell Beckham to stop taking pictures in front of a yacht until after they win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you who I felt bad for. I really felt bad for was that rookie wide receivers that they have named Flowers. Now, I felt bad for that guy because, I mean, it's youth. You do stupid shit when you're young, and when he taunted that one dude,
Sneed,
and
dumbest penalty of all, by the way.
I was like, bro, you got to know where you're at, man. And it was completely that's youth, they said something to him on the sideline, and he was so upset because it just collapsed after that. That's when the fumble that Knock talks about happened.
Yeah.
What was that guy's name that fumbled right there near the goal line?
It was him.
Yeah, it was.
Was it him? Yeah, it was him, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Who knocked the ball out? It was Sneed.
Yeah.
The guy he taunted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
That shouldn't be that's so dumb. That's such a dumb penalty.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a game of emotion, and you're turning them into robots. That's so stupid.
Yeah. Well, it's because he didn't just stand over him. He also flung the ball at him.
Yeah.
And he was talking. So it was like three things all at once that he did.
That's a violent sport.
The only thing in those three that I could agree with would be the ball throwing. Like, that would be the only one. Like, I get that one. The other two talking and oh my God, talk.
They chirped the whole game.
90s would have been the worst time for this rule to come about. Like, how many Shannon Sharp, excerpts would we not have?
Right.
That's real.
How many times would
90s.
Michael Irvin been flagged for that kind of shit?
Like,
you know what I mean?
This is
Well,
the
that
title,
and it lasted a second or two longer than normally you can get away with. Like, he just went right over that edge of where you can get away with the taunting.
Yeah. We know why they flew through the flag. It's just the timing of it and everything was bad. It really was.
And they'll carry this taunting rule on further. So when they start wearing flags, they're not going to be able to put any taunting messages on their flags or anything like that. They're not going to be able
to wave flags in their face or anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill he can't even hold up a hand anymore. He has to have a prosthetic hand that is attached to his football pads or something. It's going to get ridiculous.
I would just like to point out that every team that taunts the Chiefs loses. The 49ers in the last Super Bowl, they all posed. They all posed, and what happened? We came back and beat them.
It's true. It's true.
I will say this: I don't get the whole
Chiefs. We're going to play harder.
I don't get the whole all 11 players go pose in the end zone after a turnover.
Yeah, I don't get that one either. I don't. Yeah, that's
to me that's kind of corny.
It
is.
I
don't like it.
I think it's
fun. Whatever.
It's bonding experience.
My thought process is you get the ball, get off the field. Let's
Barry Sanders did it best, man. Hand the ball to the ref. See you later. Bye.
Yep.
See ya. You want to celebrate? Go ahead and get in the end zone. Yeah, there you go. And
the one that gets me the most. I figured there's got to be a rule. You go in for the end zone, take the ball to the goalpost. When those people that drop the ball before they enter the goal line never makes any sense to me. Just why?
Yeah.
Why is that a thing? Deshaun Jackson.
I think he had the most famous one.
Yeah, he did.
It's insane. I never understand that. The Broncos had a defensive turnover that a couple years back. He would have gotten a touchdown. It was a fumble for a touchdown, and he let it go before it went in. And they were up by a ton, so it didn't really matter in the end game. But stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Aussie football. I'm sure there's been soccer games with more people than that too. Yeah, for sure.
Now they are talking about doing the taking out the touchback, right? Isn't that something the competition committee's been talking about the last few years?
Taking out the touchback.
When they fumble in the end zone and it goes to the other team.
Yeah, Rich Eisen's been a big proponent of that. He hates that.
And now with the Ravens doing it against the Chiefs, who better to tip it over the edge than something against the Chiefs, right?
Right.
The Bills didn't get an overtime chance against the Chiefs.
They changed the friggin' overtime rules so that the big lummox might have a chance to beat the Chiefs, and he hasn't done it yet. So he hasn't beaten anybody with that rule yet.
What I would like anybody that's against the touchback rule, what I'd like to ask him is what should happen? Should the fumbling team get the ball back on the 10-yard line? Should the opposing team get the ball on the 10-yard line? What would they want to?
What do you want to change?
I imagine it'd be just start on the 1-yard line.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They'll probably that's probably what's going to happen is they'll
just wouldn't be a touchdown. It would take a take a touchdown off the board kind of deal.
You're saying the team that fumbled it would get the ball back?
Yeah.
No, that doesn't make any sense at all.
I don't.
You fumbled the ball. You lost it.
What else could they change it to? That's what I'm saying. There's literally
they don't need to change anything. They just stick with what they have. It goes the other way.
Trust me, they're whining about it already, man.
Yeah, they're gonna.
They made so many fumbles at the goal line this year,
and they can put these messages on their flags when they start wearing flag football. Because that's where the NFL's going anyway.
You know what they could do first, though. Now that they have a spring league, try it out in the UFL.
True. A lot of the stuff they want to employ, they're probably going to talk to UFL about trying them out.
My biggest thing is that 4th and 12. I'm begging for that 4th and 12 rather than onside kick. I hate onside kicks. The most useless play ever.
Well, I like the touchback rule the way it is because you could have if teams know they can get the ball back, you're going to have some that are going to try to fumble it into the end zone.
Right. Exactly, like the whole roller kind of thing.
Yeah, there'd be some unintended consequences if they did give the ball back.
Yeah, you're going to see guys doing illegal bats and all kinds of things, and it's just going to add more stress to the friggin' an already screwing up referee corps that we have.
How about this? When you get near the goal line, take care of the ball.
Yeah. You could do that. I can get. I was going to say
Both
this
hands.
earlier. I
Both
can guarantee
hands.
you this: the Niners are not going to give up the ball going into the end zone. I don't know if you've seen those guys, but whoever their running back coach.
Now the no-Joe is in full effect. Now the 49ers will fumble the ball going into the end zone. That will happen now.
They cover like nobody else does. I mean, I that's something I've noticed every time they catch a ball. If somebody's getting anywhere near them, they're not treating it like a loaf of bread. They put both hands on that ball and they stick it in their stomach. The wide receivers do it. The running backs do it. Kittle does it. I mean, they get coached to do that. So
no joke, in full effect.
Big
Go to Vegas, put your bets down.
Speaking of running backs, what's the over under on McCaffrey throwing a touchdown? I think we're a little overdue.
That'd be a good one, right?
A little overdue for one of those.
Yeah. This is the game that the old Shanahan will pull that out. Right.
I want to say he may have played quarterback in high school. I think he may have.
Well,
his first play with not first play, but his first game with the 49ers.
He threw a touchdown
pass.
Because
he does throw a pretty good ball. I mean, he's pretty good at it. And he has at least one younger brother that plays quarterback.
Just random scenario. I don't see him going into an NFC championship game against the Eagles and playing quarterback. But, that's never going to happen, right?
Never happened. Never happened.
Hang on. You want me to put the no-Joe on that one? No.
In fact, that created the emergency quarterback. So that created the whole thing.
But here's my question before we get out of the championship discussions, though. Have they hit the ceiling with Lamar Jackson? Was this their best chance, or are they going to be back? What do you guys think?
I think they'll be back.
I think they'll be back. They're a solid team. They're solid defensively. There's not a whole lot that they need to change there. They just ran into a team the Chiefs know how to win. They know how to win on the road. Defense. They know how to win at home. And until you do that yourself as a franchise, it's tough to beat the man. So the Ravens, in my estimation, they'll be back.
Yeah. And one not fumble on the goal line. This is a tie, closer game.
Yeah. It's a different game. It is. They score, they tie the game. Then
if the refs call a pass interference like they should have, maybe the Ravens don't lose out on that final drive.
To beat a man, you gotta beat the man.
And how many pass interferences don't get called against the Chiefs?
Yeah,
a lot.
True.
Sure. Well, I mean, the refs don't expect them to catch the ball. So,
was that the play where Lamar threw it into triple coverage, or is this a different play?
Two of them tackled the guy. So, but he also called for it. Listen, if your wide receiver calls for the ball, you got to throw it to him, right? Isn't that how it works?
No, that's not how it works.
Because I think if the I don't know how the rule works. If the receiver gets hit, like it's interfered with basically while the ball's in the air, but the guy that intercepts it's like 5 yards ahead of them, in front of them. I don't know.
I mean, if they don't give him an opportunity to get to the ball, that's pass interference, though.
Unless they're going for the
wide receiver
themselves.
Yeah, right. And the two that tackled him weren't going for the ball.
But that guy that picked it off, like Lamar, the receiver was not going to be able to get to that ball before that.
We don't know that because he got tackled.
That ball was 5 yards short. He wasn't.
That's what I'm saying because of where he picked it off. So I don't know. I don't know what the rule would even be there.
Yeah, but
anyway,
the one thing I thought what happened to the whole reviewing pass interference, whether it was a pass interference or not? Why does that never happen anymore? Is there
first of all, they only call you can only review it if it's called.
All right, move on. Nothing to see here, please, Pittsburgh. Nothing to see here, please.
You can only review it if
random.
Yeah, that's Dan. Danny's got control of the video board, so watch out. He could strike at any time. You can only review it if it's called. Okay, if it's not called, then you can't review it.
Yeah, that's weird. No.
That's the deal. That's what you get, and they tend to let them play in the playoffs. So, hey. That's the way it is. Okay, so
unless you're the New Orleans Saints, then
you can straight up rape wide receivers, and nobody gives two shits. I don't know what. I think Goodell sends special instructions, and I'm not a huge Saints fan. I root for him so my brother will be in a better mood You understand what I'm saying? Because he bleeds black and gold. And but I tell you what, it's been proven over the years, man. It's like the refs go out there with instructions to fuck that team up. What was it, Horn, that the referee tackled on that post route years ago, Daniel? Was that Horn?
I've lost count of the atrocities. Let's move on.
I think one of the no calls that the Saints wide receiver was.
You don't remember that game? I want to say it was either shortly after the turn of the century or right before. And I think it was Horn, the guy that they had a really good wide receiver back then. That was running a post route. Nobody on him. No defender within 10 yards of him. They had totally blown the coverage. And I can't remember who the quarterback was, but he threw the ball to him. And the referee didn't pay attention to where he was at on the field and basically tackled this guy right at the point of the catch. He was like, oh, my God, the ball's coming my way. Which way do I go? And boom.
Incomplete pass.
That was just
unbelievable.
Wow.
You know. But I know what you guys are thinking, you Saints fans. It's the fucking Vikings, or not the Vikings game, but the Rams game where the fucking guy got mugged on the sideline, and the guy, there's a photograph there of the ref looking straight at it and doesn't even call it. I mean, the ball's nowhere in the picture. It was Joe Horn. That's it. Joe Horn. I remember the play. Yeah. ETEP's got it. How you doing, ETEP? Good to see you. Yeah. I mean, that ref tackled that guy. It was ridiculous, man. But anyway, yeah, you're right about the Saints. But yeah,
so the question is that the referees, I mean, how do you, I mean, some situations, these referees are just going to be involved, and it's unfortunate. I don't know how you clean that up, because some of these things are just obviously missed, and there's got to be a better way to get that call right. I mean, the NHL will stop game, they'll review, and they're going to get the call right. Mm-hmm. The NFL needs to do a better job of taking a look at these situations and getting these calls right.
Yeah, you're right. I think the fact that they've got LA involved in it a lot these days, they'll actually call them and say, hey, look, you guys blew that call, fix it. They actually do that now. So that's a step in the right direction, if you ask me. What you got there for us, Knock? Is this the play?
It is.
Okay, let's see it, man. Let's see it. This is. Yeah, I mean, totally hit him right when the ball was getting there. Yeah. I mean, it was horrible. Look at that. There's not a defender in sight. And that ref destroyed him. I was like, what in the hell? Does he have money on the game?
We have our Super Bowl. So I can rest in peace.
Yeah, you can. But
and normally a ref is never in that part of the field.
No, they're not.
On like that.
I mean, they're professionals. They're supposed to know the situation, where they need to be to make a call. This guy, anyway.
Yeah.
Dan wants to change the subject. Let's move on to. But I do want to talk about the Ravens a little bit more. They had a great season. I do prefer John Harbaugh over Jim. I think he's a better coach. I don't think he's a whiner. He's a tough-minded coach. I do like him. I think he's a lot more tough-minded than his brother. I'd love to see him get back there, man. I think they're a great team. I think Lamar's a really talented quarterback, but they've got to find a way to beat a blitz, because wow, you bring the blitz and you're good at it, and they're going to be hurt by it. It's obvious from that championship game. So that's what they've got
to get them screens going.
Yep.
That's
what I was thinking. I was wondering what the screen game was, man. And maybe they don't have that part of their game yet. I mean, they ran the ball. They leaned on the running game all year long. I mean, they destroyed teams on the ground.
And you mentioned John Harbaugh. By the way, former Baltimore Ravens John Harbaugh. Yeah. I'd forgotten about that until recently, that he was on the Ravens.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But
I was going to say, I don't know. I'm probably in the minority, but I think Lamar's overrated as far as what he can do. Wow. I don't think he's not a full. I mean, he's looking better throwing the ball. I will admit that he has improved, but he's still not, because you got to be able to be a pocket passer as well as roll.
He's not a pocket passer. I was going to say he's not a pocket passer.
No.
That's not what he does.
I think he's like Josh Allen. He's a bull in a china shop.
Yeah.
Hey, Mythbusters busted that. Okay, the bull was very nice in the China store. There were shells everywhere. They didn't knock over one. I want to break that.
Agreed. Saw that episode. That is true. Mm-hmm. Bulls are very, very elegant.
We need to.
He reminds me.
This.
He reminds me of Michael Vick, guys.
Yep.
And Michael Vick never made it all the way there. And the guy was talented. The one thing that makes me think of Michael Vick every time I watch him,
80 yards is insane.
Yeah, he just flicks his wrist. You know, it's so easy, and it's. I think they've got the right formula, and to what was it, Daniel? Or was it Knock that said screens? They need to figure that out for blitzing teams. They really do. If they add that to their arsenal, watch out. They're going to be in trouble. You're going to be in trouble for sure.
Especially when you have Debo and or at least for the 49ers, like staying with the screen talk. They got Debo and McCaffrey. They should be able to do screens, no problem.
Yeah, right.
What's interesting about the screen game is, if you look at Lamar Jackson's delivery, it's like a 3-quarter to almost a sidearm delivery.
Mm-hmm.
Those screens, unless you chop down ends, they may be difficult for him to throw.
Could be.
There may be a reason why they do not run screens.
Yeah. That's a good point. Because there's certain quarterbacks just are not good at throwing that ball. You've got to be able to float it, put a little air under it, and drop it in like a pillow kind of thing. And it's that can be tough for some quarterbacks. And you're right, Dan. Absolutely, that's good observation.
Yeah, when every ball you throw is like a line, it's
Yeah. You didn't see Cam Newton throw many screen passes.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
Yeah. I mean, he just threw a wall every time he threw it.
And he would take forever to do it. That's why he lost.
Yeah.
Because
they
gave him time. It wasn't even that they didn't give him any time. He took so long back in there in the pocket. Yeah. And then his windup was so freaking long. He's reaching back to the other end zone. To try to throw it.
Now, a much better game on championship weekend was this one. The Lions versus the 49ers. And the Lions had them. They did. They had them.
I think if the Lions were at home, they would have had this one.
I think they could have won this one.
I think they would have.
I don't think it would have been easy, but
I think they wouldn't have had the meltdown in the second half if that crowd was just going.
Man, it was a meltdown in the first 7 minutes of the second half.
It was. It's all that one play. It was like it was meant to be. I mean, the guy's in position to get an interception. He goes for it.
Damn ball.
It bounces off his face mask. He can't deflect.
Oh, that one.
It goes up in the air, and the wide receiver who missed the ball gets it. And
I was having flashbacks to Lamar catching his own pass.
Oh yeah, that was a great play.
It was a fantastic play by the 49ers guy. He didn't give up on it. And
was that Ayuk? I think that was Ayuk.
Yeah, I think it was Ayuk too.
It was Ayuk.
And
he's really good.
As my brother likes to say, you heard this rather loud noise called "Kang." The ice tilted at that moment in that game.
Yeah.
And the only reason why it tilted is because the Lions haven't figured out how to win the big one yet. They made great strides this year. I don't want to diminish anything they did this year, but they have never been in this spot before to put a team away. And just that one play. I think they reeled off 17 points in less than like 3 minutes at that point. Yeah. I think they totally blindsided them after that. It was amazing to see.
I feel bad for our man Etep. I think he's a Lions fan.
Is he? Yeah. Etep says, "Don't get me started on the Lions drop passes, no second half adjustments, plus that catch." You got to put it on the head coach too. He went for it on fourth down a couple of times when he could have taken 3 points and put more pressure on him to score more points. It was a collective deal. The whole organization, top to bottom, is used to losing, and they've made great strides. Don't get me wrong. I mean, John himself, the man, the Chiefs fan, has been saying all year, I'm not betting against the Lions because he got beat by them first game of the season. Yep. I mean, so but they're going to learn. They'll learn from this. I doubt we're going to see Dan Campbell make those kind of decisions in championship games. Now, yeah, he rode that kind of thinking all the way to that championship game.
Starting in that
no
Chiefs
doubt
game,
about it.
where he went for it on a fake punt on his own side of the field.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. It's going to be tough for him to change that.
The worst Dan Campbell doing things he shouldn't be doing was against the Cowboys. When he went for 2 and didn't get it because of the penalty, then went for 2 like 2 more times, like in that same possession or that same extra point attempt. It's like after you get the reprieve with not getting it, I guess the second time because of the Cowboys offsides or whatever it was, kick your extra point.
Yeah,
but he can be hard-headed about that kind of thing.
Yeah, and this is the deal. You guys know how I feel about analytics. Every time, if you do it every time, this is going to be the result. Now, when you pick your spots, that's when, that fake punt was awesome earlier in the season. I thought that was fantastic. The Saints coach going for it the first play of the second half of the Super Bowl. That's they're not expecting it at that point, right? Right. But when you do it every time, they're expecting it. They're looking for it every time if you do it that way. So, half of going for it on fourth down is panting the other team when they don't expect it. Last time we were in the NFC title game was 1991, and we haven't won a championship since 1957. The curse of Bobby Lane stands. 41 years as a Lions fan, so I'm used to it. Hey, man, I was with you for a long time as a Seahawks fan. Believe that. So was John with the Chiefs. It was 50 years between their championships. It's coming, man. Don't worry. I think we're on the right track.
Pretty much everybody that doesn't have a favorite team, was
still involved, was rooting for that team. Yeah. Yes, they were. Everybody in America was they. Yeah, they called them America's team that week, and they were.
I was rooting for the Lions.
Yeah,
I would have rooted for them up till the Super Bowl.
Right,
but
exactly.
I had ulterior motives for that though. I wanted Taylor Swift versus Eminem.
Nice.
Yeah, because Eminem would have been at that game, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I think it would have been pretty cool to have, the very first game and then it'd be the very last game. I think that would have been like a full circle.
Yeah, I thought that's what I was rooting for. The season opener was the season finale. That would have been cool as shit.
And then it'd be hilarious if they were like, the 2024 season will start with the Lions and the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. Do it again. Let's do it again. But look. Nothing against the Lions. I just, man, Dan, I know you live and die with that going for it on fourth down all the damn time, but dude, you got to pick your spots, man. And you guys know how I feel about that, man. I was so happy. I was ready to throw a party when Brandon Stokely got fired in Los Angeles, the Chargers coach, because, man, wow, I got tired of watching that guy fuck his team up doing that shit. It's the thing I hate about it is Dan Campbell is I liked him as a player. He was tough-nosed, and I like him as a coach, but, man, you got to pick your spots, buddy.
The times what really bothers me is when a team is leading and does that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
that's where.
And they were leading.
Yeah,
they were winning the game.
Yeah.
You got to take the points, man.
Well, at least with the first one. Yeah.
Well, let's give the 49ers credit. They didn't bow out.
No, they didn't.
They stuck with it. They let the Lions do their mistakes, and they took full advantage of it.
Well, that play by Ayuk was incredible. Most receivers would have been on the deck after losing or throwing their hands up or blaming it on the quarterback. That guy stuck with the ball and got it. So, he made the play. And, here we are. Rematch of Super Bowl 54. And we'll discuss that a little bit more.
The rerun.
The rerun. And they did it the way they've done it all year. Now, Purdy, he's, people are saying he looks like he's come back down to earth a little bit, but I think he's just playing better defenses. That's what I think. And he's in bigger spots. You know what I'm saying? So he's still doing the job as far as I can see. I'm no big Purdy fan. I don't want to see the 49ers win because, I'm a Seahawks fan. I hate the 49ers.
Well, yeah, you're right. It's a combination of both the talent and the skill set is raised. Mm-hmm. But he's definitely, second half crunch time when they've got to come back to win games, he's getting it done. So
yeah, he is. He's getting it done. And it's if I tell you the guys I will be happy for if the Niners pull it off. I'll be happy for Purdy. I mean, God, I don't think we've ever seen Mr. Irrelevant perform at this level. I guess the closest would probably be Colston from the Saints, I would imagine. Wasn't he Mr. Irrelevant? I think he was.
I don't know if he was the last one taken, but he was way down there. But he turned out to be a great talent for the Saints.
I mean, hell, wasn't it like a couple of years after he got drafted that Hofstra friggin' cut their football program? They weren't even playing football 2 years after he left that college, I think. But what this kid's doing, you want to talk about making the most out of your opportunity. It's Brady-like even, you know what I mean? Just stealing starting jobs from a bunch of guys. You know what I mean? I mean, the last time they went, he stole this job from the guy that led him to the Super Bowl the last time, Garoppolo. So,
Well, it's not like he's stealing. We don't see what goes on in the practice field. These coaches see what their best option is, and he's turned out to be their best option. Mm-hmm. And he's proven that.
Yep. Oh, yeah, no doubt. I mean, just look at how Garoppolo played for the Raiders. Oh, God, that was horrible. Eesh, nice. Niners.
Can that be blamed on him, though? Because, it was Josh McDaniels. So can we put all the blame on Garoppolo?
Josh McDaniels is the guy that got him to where he could get contracts like he did with the 49ers and the Raiders.
I'm just saying. You also have Josh Jacobs. I don't know if McDaniels has ever had, not in a while, had a running back like that. And he did not use him. And the run would have supplemented, would have upped the pass game. So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Let's not get started about Josh McDaniels, the destroyer of franchise.
The destroyer of franchise.
The destroyer of Wait. Should we call him the Kansas City Chiefs best weapon? Andy Reid's getting him jobs all over the AFC West just to destroy franchises so they can keep winning championships. Oh my God!
The Broncos are one of two teams that got that Tom Brady does not have a winning record against. So
I know.
I think Belichick sent him to the Denver Broncos to
just to destroy your franchise.
Just to destroy him. Kind of like go do that, and he's like, yes, sir.
I hear you. Hey, it's a common thing. People think that about what he's done to the Raiders too. I mean, I think the Raiders got their coach right. By the way, let's go ahead and start that discussion real quick before we get into talking about the big game. I wanted to talk about the coaching carousel. It's finally stopped. We got a couple of names that actually ended up without chairs in this game of musical chairs. That really shocked me. The first being, Frank Reich. I was shocked that nobody hired that guy.
I wasn't.
I wasn't either. At least not as a head coach.
Hey, man, he did a really good job coaching a team with no quarterback with the Colts for a while there. You really can't count the friggin' Panthers job because the friggin' owner's an idiot and is way worse than Jerry Jones. Getting his hands in the locker room kind of thing. The new owner of the Panthers is a total retard. I don't even count that against him, but he just couldn't get a trigger man in Indianapolis, and it cost him his job.
You go from working for Irsay to working for David Tepper. That's bad luck.
Yeah. That is bad luck. That's super bad luck, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Let's see. I've been a Lions fan so long. I just ordered an old school Honolulu blue 89 Jeff Chadwick jersey. Wow, dude. That is old. That's old, dude. Well, I got my Steve Largent jersey up here, buddy. So, that's how long I've been a Seahawks fan. I've been a Seahawks fan since day one. But yeah, I was surprised that Frank Reich didn't get another job. I know you guys probably don't think that much of him, but that's another guy that I loved as a player. I thought he was awesome. I mean, I was rooting against him when the Oilers collapsed in the second half of the biggest friggin' comeback in playoff history. Me and Danny have always been big, love you blue fans, because we watched all those games. They used to show the Oilers here all the time. And when they lost that game against Frank Reich, and I found out that he had the biggest comeback in NCAA history at the time too, I was like, what? Wow, they went to sleep on this guy, But the other one that surprised me was Vrabel. That to me was insane, dude. I'm like,
he's too scary, dude. He's
let me pull that up real
scary.
quick. Good Lord, that is the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. Let me find this real quick. We saw
Coach Allen is still entrenched in New Orleans, so we're guaranteed to be mediocre at best. Thank God.
Man, come on,
I'd love
bro.
it for the Saints to get rid of Dennis Allen and bring in Vrabel.
Yeah, that would be awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Love it. That would be great. But it looks like they put it all on the offensive coordinator down there. Didn't they just get rid of him?
Yeah, 18 years he had been the offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
throughout
during
the
Super
Peyton
Bowl year
regime,
and yeah,
great offenses, but it's his fault, so it's not.
Well,
and they restructured Derek Carr's contract, so we got him for at least 2 more years. So that's awesome. You got Allen, and you got Carr. That's awesome.
They were.
What's that, man?
The Saints were middle of the pack on offense this year. They weren't terrible on offense. They were 16th, 17th, somewhere there. I mean, the offense
they couldn't stop anybody the second half of the season at all.
Yeah, the offense wasn't the problem.
That guy was not the problem. I mean, honest to God. But there you go. Whatever. 500 ball at best. Yay.
Well, love does show flashes of greatness at times. So,
who?
Love? That's the Green Bay, buddy.
I thought you said Packers.
No. We're talking about the Saints, brother.
Get off your phone, John. Stick
John.
with it, buddy.
I'm off my phone. I thought you said Pack, and I'm like, oh, okay.
No, not at all. But yeah, check out this headline, man. We saw this earlier this week. Former Titans coach Mike Vrabel reportedly intimidates NFL executives due to his size. What? Are you serious? This guy got the Titans to a championship game. First time they've been in the NFC Championship game, probably since fucking McNair was there. And
he's scary, dude.
He's scary.
Have a scary guy
because of his
as
size.
Head coach.
They
can't have anybody physically imposing in your locker room.
What in the hell?
Like Coach Allen size, little guy. Nobody listens to. So that's who you want.
Last time I checked, Dan Campbell was not like a little fella.
He's pretty.
Andy Reid is not a small human being at all.
I was fixing to say, yeah. Well, how do you think the Chiefs feel about Andy Reid walking into a room, dude? I mean, good Lord. You see linemen hugging him and or linebackers, and he towers over half of them. He's a big dude. I just that's crazy. That's absolutely nuts, man. Hopefully Vrabel will get a job next year. He'll go. I don't think he's going to take a coordinator job anywhere. I wouldn't. I'd hold out for a head coaching job with the record he had. I mean, look, I don't know what's with the ownership group there in I don't know who the owner of the Titans is. I don't know what he's thinking, but they got to a championship game. The very next offseason, they got rid of their best frigging offensive player.
Sure, and they lost balance on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah,
he will hold out for a head coaching job as long as he financially can hold out.
Yeah,
you still got to pay the bills,
Yeah, you got to pay the bills. I'm sure he'll be on TV somewhere.
I did read somewhere where he might he might at least work with Ohio State some this year, maybe not in like an unofficial capacity, because that's where he played. Not Ohio State. I stand corrected. Not Ohio State. He might be working with Wisconsin, where Luke Fickell coaches, and Luke Fickell and he played together at Ohio State. So he might be around the Wisconsin program some this year.
Just to punch home the point about Andy Reid, though, guys.
Yeah.
Check out what John's got for us here. This is Andy Reid.
Andy at 13.
13 years old at the punt.
In 1971 at the punt pass kick. Yeah.
The punt pass and kick competition. Check that fool out. Look at the guy behind him.
By the way, nice spelling on his name there.
Right?
Yeah.
Andrew.
That was a long time ago, man.
I was 1.
What year?
1971. I was
1971. I would have been 6 years old. Yeah. Good Lord. Andy's been around a while. But yeah, man. Jeez. I don't get it. I don't get it. I hope we see Vrabel in head coaching job again very, very soon.
Is anybody on the panel surprised that Bill Belichick did not land a head coaching spot?
Yeah, I am.
I am not.
I am. I'm surprised.
I knew he wasn't going to Washington. That's all I know.
Yeah, you called that one, Knock. You called that one. Who'd they end up? They got. Yeah, they're the Dallas Cowboys, East Coast now, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I saw an article this week that they were they grabbed Quinn. They grabbed another position coach from the Cowboys.
Cliff and Berry.
Right. And then they wanted to talk to another one, and Jerry Jones said, "Look, this is enough. You can't talk to this guy because he's under contract." He put his foot down and said, "No, you can't keep stealing my guys like this." Yeah.
There were also some coaching moves this week where guys didn't even have to leave their house. And so in the Seahawks hired the former Washington Huskies offensive coordinator and Washington Huskies offensive line coach to go do the same thing with that team.
Right.
So,
those are moved by what's the fella's name? He's the defensive coordinator for the Ravens last year, or excuse me, well, couple weeks ago he was on the sidelines with the Ravens. He was the defensive coordinator. Now he's our head coach.
Yep.
So and that totally blindsided me because they were talking like they didn't want somebody like Vrabel, who I wanted, because they wanted to go to an offensive mind, and then they hire a defensive coach. I was very shocked by that move.
That defensive coach, he's a much smaller in stature guy. He's not so intimidating.
He's not so intimidating. Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah,
he's like a mini Vrabel, right?
Well,
yeah.
And
hey, and look, I don't mind it because I love defensive football. I like having a defensive coach, and the Ravens defense has been a strength of that team. I mean, John can attest. They only scored 17 points against them. It was that was not the problem with that game against the Chiefs last week. It wasn't the defense. So,
nope.
If I'm not going to get Belichick or Vrabel, if I'm not going to get an ex-Patriot, I'll take that guy. No problem.
Well, speaking of ex-Patriots, the other guy that didn't have to move this week was Bill O'Brien. He's gone from the Patriots to Boston College. So
really,
same house.
Doesn't even have to fucking change his address, does he?
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
Dude.
Well, looks like we're getting Eric Bieniemy next year.
Really?
Yeah, because as soon as
they had Cliff Berry. Washington had Cliff Berry as offensive coordinator.
Cliff Kingsbury? Is that who you're talking about?
As soon as he came in, he said, well, we're not going to keep Eric Bieniemy. And Eric Bieniemy, right before the championship game, was in the locker room talking to the team.
Really? Wow. I wonder if he'd be with them today. That'd be cool.
No, he can't, because there's the NFL has rules about what coach can go where at what point.
Gotcha.
But
it was really weird because they didn't let.
Hey,
EB
Dave,
go.
good to see you.
They didn't let EB go before hiring Cliff. So it was really weird. Like he's still in the building. Well, he probably wasn't, but he was still in the building when Cliff comes in. And he's like, "Hey, this is my office. You go."
Yeah,
or something like that. I can just
Chiefs are like, "Yeah, we'll take him back."
And then that afternoon, they announced it that they weren't going to keep EB, but that was really weird.
Yeah. And
it's like
Nagy's I'll go back to being a quarterback coach, I guess.
And you never see his name associated with any head coaching positions at all. I don't know why this guy's not sought after, but who knows?
You
talking about that belief that it's Andy Reid and not him. That's the thing. This was his chance of proving it. And I think that the Washington offense wasn't that bad this year, but they weren't prolific.
No, and they don't have the studs that KC. But I think they showed flashes of you put more pieces on the field with that Howell. I think Washington can be a good offensive team. Defensively, they're not terrible.
Great wide receivers.
I think they're close to being a very a good, formidable team there in the East.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's funny that that they went and snatched half the coaches. They really helped themselves out by getting Dan Quinn. But then again, Dan Quinn, I don't know, his stock may have dropped a little bit this year because the Cowboys were outscoring teams a lot of the time. Yep. I watched it live against the Seahawks, and we had no problem moving the ball against them at all. Matter of fact,
and Washington doesn't have a Micah Parsons.
That game. say again, Doc. What?
They don't have a Micah Parsons, so
no, they
traded away all their players.
They traded away their friggin' defensive threats, didn't they? Good Lord, man!
Although they may have done the right thing with Young because he's definitely been getting bashed these last couple weeks for not putting the effort forward.
Mm-hmm. That Dan Quinn defense was not unlike the Saints defense that won the Super Bowl. They were not world stoppers. They were not shut down defenses. What they did was attack the quarterback and create turnovers. And that's what that Cowboy defense was predicated on, creating turnovers and sacking the quarterback. Yep. And that's what they did well. But, when they played from behind, they ran into physical teams that could run the football at you. Yep. They had a hard time with them.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They were built to play with a lead. They're expected to get points on the board and then, to what Danny just said, attack a passing game and get turnovers. Yep, absolutely.
Our Saints defenses back then, we thrived on bonuses.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God.
Which teams still do?
Which every team does.
They still do it, but whatever.
Look, guys,
I had no problem with it.
I've got no problem with it either. It's ridiculous. I don't get. Look, what is every defense's job? What is their main job? What are they supposed to do?
Knock out the quarterback.
Knock
You're
the
taught
quarterback
that
out of the game.
From Pee Wee football. Knock out the quarterback.
Not these days. That's not a thing anymore.
The NFL doesn't want it to be a thing, but trust me, everybody that plays football knows that if the backup quarterback's in, you got a lot better chance of winning.
Yep.
No doubt about it.
Unless, of course, you're playing the Chiefs.
No shit. Then some fucking 50-year-old man steps off the bench and slices you up, right? Throwing screen passes all over the place.
And then he retires, and so you get another one.
Right.
So
then you get another one.
You just get another one. And
who is it this year?
Blaine Gabbert from Missouri.
Blaine Gabbert. Yeah, there's another one. Never did anything with another team. But if he shows up in a game, trust me, he's going to be a world beater. It's going to be ridiculous, man. That what was it last year when Chad Henne had to step off the bench and win a game for him? And he just wow, he looked great.
He went right down the field and scored.
I mean, I'm like, wow, look at this shit.
And what was it, the year or two before that, where they went up for it on like 4th and 2
Matt
to
Moore,
win the game?
Dude. Matt Moore. Yeah,
Matt Moore.
Called him up off the couch to be the backup.
I want to say Chad Henne even got into a Subway commercial.
Yeah, right. That's too funny.
Yeah, because it was the one where he was behind Patrick the whole time, going.
Yeah,
I didn't see that one,
man. But yeah, so as far as the coaching changes, I think the guy's name's Ben Cross. I think that's his name. He's the guy in Seattle now. Jim Harbaugh is back in the NFL. Much like Pete Carroll, he's dodging that bullet from the NCAA, coming on back to the NFL.
Yeah, I like how the NFL is the getaway.
Right? We're going to take a step up to get away. Most guys are going underground, right? No.
When I said it, I didn't remember that John Harbaugh was a Raven. I meant Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh played for the Ravens. Sorry about that. That little confusion.
Actually, he played for the Colts. It was the Baltimore.
But I mean, he played for. Yes. Well, he played for the Bears, Colts, and Ravens, and maybe even another team in there. But he moonlighted with the Ravens.
He was the Ryan Fitzpatrick of his generation, no doubt about it, man.
I don't know, man.
And I don't care what anybody said. Look, I loved Jim Harbaugh as a player. one of the greatest championship games ever. You guys have heard me say this before. If you get a chance to take a look at the film and watch it, the wide receiver for the Colts had his hands on that ball at the end of the game in the 95 championship game when the Steelers ended up getting throttled by the friggin' Cowboys in the Super Bowl. Cowher's first trip to the Super Bowl. He played against Jim Harbaugh's Colts, and it was a fantastic game. It really was. And Jim Harbaugh was a tough player, but my God, and he coaches toughness in his players, but my gosh, he does nothing but whine during football games. I hate guys like him on the sidelines. I really do. I can't stand dudes like him. He wants a flag on every fucking play. But he's going out to L.A. to coach a guy I really dig. I love the quarterback for the friggin' L.A. Rams. You guys know I'm always something about the Chargers. Excuse me, I said the Rams. The Chargers quarterback position. They've always got a great one there, and they just never can put the pieces around them and get it done, or they don't have the coaches right. Look forward to that. There, Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders fans. The Chargers are gonna be. Will this stop the Chargers from charging? That's my question for the panel. Will this stop the Chargers from charging, as they like to say?
Next year, AFC West is probably going to be the most competitive division in the league.
Yeah.
Because we've got all 4 teams have great coaches.
I don't know if you can call the Raiders coach great yet,
Pierce,
but he does have them competing, and I'm glad
he earned that job, and so now we'll see.
He did earn the job. We'll see how he does now that he's not the backup. Like they say about running backs.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. I don't mind if they're last in
the one that I'm skeptical of is the Falcons head coach Morris, because he's already been there before, and they were like, "Oh, he really wowed us in the interview." I'm like, "Well, you know him already, so I don't understand him wowing you in the interview process when he's worked with you for multiple years."
Let's see,
and already been a head coach for you.
Now, who did the Panthers end up settling on? I don't remember who decided to grab that stick of dynamite, but I'll have to look that up real quick. Hang on. We went from Washington. We know Washington's guy. We know the Seahawks guy. We know the Raiders guy. The Chargers. The Falcons. Who got the Panthers job? Let's see. Panthers head coach.
It wasn't Coach Allen from the Saints.
No, it wasn't. Sorry, bud. I know you want to unask him as soon as possible, but actually, it wouldn't be bad if you demoted him to defensive coordinator and got a head coach, right? Because he can coach defense. He can, but
Dave Cannells.
Who is it?
Dave Cannells.
I don't even know who that is. What the hell happened to my background? What in the heck? What just happened?
He was the OC for Tampa Bay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that was behind Baker Mayfield's comeback.
Okay. All right. Yeah, well, he grabbed 2 hands full of dynamite there. I don't know if that's probably the job that was least wanted by any head coach out there, I'm sure, because the owner has proven to be a very volatile maniac, throwing beer on opposing fans in his own stadium and stuff. It's very strange what that guy's doing.
By the way, the Cowboys, not head coach, but the Cowboys defensive coordinator, Mike Zimmer. Pretty.
I did. Yes. Mike Zimmer's coming back to the Cowboys. I think that's a good move for them. He is a defensive coordinator that can definitely get it done, man. And he's got great players to coach, doesn't he? I mean,
and I always thought with his personality, he's better suited as a coordinator, even though he was with the Vikings for a good while.
He was with the Vikings, but he was with the Cowboys before that. That's where he made a name for himself and got that job. I think that's a good move for the Cowboys.
What's his defensive philosophy? Because their defense is constructed to fast attack quarterback. Now, if his philosophy is one of more discipline and physical up front, you're going to see a lot of wholesale personnel changes on that side of the ball, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think he runs a 4-3, Dan. I'm pretty sure he runs a 4-3 scheme. He's not a 3-4 kind of guy. And I'd have to look at it, dude. I'm not really sure. I just know his defenses were solid. He's the guy that, well, I can't remember exactly who was playing for him then, but the Cowboys defense was they had some good players on it, but it was during Romo's turn as quarterback there, and they only put together a couple of decent defensive teams, and it was during his tenure. They're at the end of Romo's run. That's when he started doing pretty well. Because if you remember, it was all Romo at the beginning of it. I know I've heard so many Cowboys fans bitch about Tony Romo throwing interceptions at the end of games. I'm like, well, when everything hinges on you and nothing else, you're going to tend to do that. You know what I mean? When you've got to throw the ball at the end of games, that's what's going to happen.
Although when they got rid of DeMarco Murray, that was the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah, it was. It was stupid.
The only thing I ask of Romo is that he not say the word Jim, at least 50 times.
Right.
Again.
Yeah. Well, they're covering the game today, so get ready for it, bro.
Yeah. Listen, I will always appreciate the calling of the cat on the field by Tony Romo.
Hell yeah, man. I love Romo as an announcer, dude. One thing we found out when he became an announcer is how smart that guy is. He's calling half the plays before they snap the ball.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? That guy's smart, And he did smash all of Aikman's records. I mean, Aikman had the hardware, but man, dude, Tony Romo set records. It was ridiculous. But, so did half of the Chargers quarterbacks. So, I mean, all the way back to Dan Fouts.
Well, we know all the talk and broadcasting next year will be about Mr. Brady.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's going to Fox, right?
Yeah.
Didn't he go to Fox? Yeah.
Which Brady, his voice is a little bit high. So,
it is.
Whenever like Dale Earnhardt calls a NASCAR race, sometimes he gets up here for,
Yeah, I don't know how well Brady's going to do in the booth. I dug Greg Olson. I thought he called a good game. He's a football guy. Brady,
he left Fox, didn't he?
I think when there's going to be big moments, you're going to see Brady.
I think Brady took his slot, so I don't know where he's going. He'll be somewhere.
Greg Olson's really good. I don't know why you get rid of him.
Yeah, I don't know. They did. Yeah, he moved on.
I mean, he was so good that they let Aikman and Buck go to ESPN. That's how good he was. Because I love Troy Aikman. If he just wasn't locked at the hip with Joe Buck. New York Yankee Buck. I mean,
I hate Joe Buck.
Joe Buck's freaking just weird. All he should be doing is calling Yankee games. Danny can tell you this just as well as I can. When they made one of the greatest runs in Major League Baseball history, when they ran the table 8 games in a row, 4 games against the Yankees and then 4 games against St. Louis. You know this too, John.
Yeah.
You watched that 4th game of the World Series. All he did was bitch about why the Yankees weren't there.
Yep.
That's all he did.
Yeah.
He was fucking bummed out that the Red Sox were about to win the World Series.
And I believe his father called the St. Louis Cardinal games. I'm not sure about that, but
yeah.
Yep.
Jack Buck.
Yep. So, but yeah, I love Aikman. Aikman, dude, he gets upset with teams and just starts calling them out. You remember that one game where Romo kept getting fucking sacked? Or no, it was Dak Prescott. It was like the second year Dak Prescott was there, and the left tackle was a turnstile in that game. It kept getting him lit up, and Aikman just chewed that guy's ass on national television. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
He lit him up. It was crazy.
Sometimes Aikman goes dark. Yeah,
he does, man. Yeah. But then again,
they deserve it though.
If you've seen, I was gonna say, if you've seen some of the stuff, I played a video not too long ago. They were talking about, like, it was shortly after the Cowboys lost their playoff game, and they showed this video on Facebook, and it said, they don't have a leader on that Dallas Cowboys team, not like this, right? And they showed Troy Aikman lighting up an assistant coach on the sideline saying, why am I the only one saying this? I got a head coach that won't even fucking say this shit. It's fucking childcare out here. I mean, he's just losing his mind on the sideline.
I would love to hear an uncensored Aikman broadcast.
You know it, man. It would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be badass. And that's what I love about Aikman. I mean, I sat there and watched him one time during that 90s run. He got sacked and he grabbed the lineman's face mask when he got off the ground. He helped him up, and as soon as he stood up, he grabbed him by the face mask and he yelled at him. He said, "I cannot throw passes on my back." You know?
Yeah, that was Big E, Eric Williams. He was
Eric
chewing
Williams.
on. That's a nasty human being. But Aikman
if
would call out anybody.
If anybody tried that today, they would get a face mask called on them.
Yeah, right. On their own teammate.
Yeah. Well, the other dynamic with Aikman is whenever Jimmy Johnson left, Barry Switzer was a lot more lax than Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
And Aikman felt like he had to be Billy Badass once Jimmy Johnson left. So he was having to basically coach and play in terms of being the disciplinarian.
Yeah.
And I think that wore on him, and of course the concussions.
The concussions. That first year shortened his career, man. No doubt about it. And it was the Redskins that freaking knocked him out for good, too. I can't remember the linebacker's name, but he was good. He was a good linebacker, too, and he lit him up on the sidelines, and that was it for Aikman. But one of my favorite quarterbacks I ever watched play, though. And I don't understand why he's not. Him and Terry Bradshaw, for some reason, are never in the great, quarterback conversations. And I don't get it. I really don't get it. They were triggermen of fucking dynasties, and I don't get how you don't consider
people just look at stats.
Huh?
People just go by stats a lot of times.
Yeah. What is it?
Show me. Put me up.
Oh yeah, got you. What you got there, bro?
Guys, that's a embarrassment out there. That's a damn embarrassment. We can't block anybody up the now we're hugging the ball early. Junior League. Somebody's got to get their attention, and I'll tell you, Jack, I am tired of being a guy who's got to run down everybody's damn throat all the time. Why don't we have a coach that gets over there and does something about it? Instead, we want to go over and pat everybody on the ass, and they haven't done a job all night. Guys out there off, and nobody says anything about it. We got a head coach that won't say anything about it. We got coaches offensively that won't do anything about it. I mean, enough's enough.
You hear that one guy in the back, Troy.
Yeah, Troy, calm down, Troy. He's like,
guarantee you that was during the Switzer era. That wasn't the Johnson era, that's for sure.
No,
Jimmy
wouldn't take that shit.
No,
he would have said something.
Mm-hmm.
No, he was firing guys on the practice field. I remember that bunch. Yeah. When he left Dallas, I was like, okay, now we can get back to a sense of normalcy here and get these Cowboys out of these damn playoffs.
Right. Was Bubby Brister, was that Broncos? Is that?
Not sure. What conversation did they
maybe
have?
After Elway?
What were you guys talking about?
Bubby Brister was with the Broncos first.
He was talking about,
and he was with the Pittsburgh Steelers, I believe.
Pittsburgh Steelers, I think he was with. That's where I remember him at. But anyway, okay, boys and girls. So we covered the coaching carousel. I guess it's time to get into the game itself. We have got absolutely again a rematch of Super Bowl 54, boys and girls. That's what we've got.
Yep.
And, we didn't talk about Gerard Mayo, by the way, with the
Gerard Mayo. Yeah. See, hang on.
We actually missed a couple.
We'll cover this real fast. The Patriots just keep on going, and we'll see what happens. I don't think they're going to win again for a long time.
And the Steelers picked up Arthur Smith, Philly with Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore.
Really?
Just some Tennessee, by the way, went with Brian Callahan.
Yeah.
Was their head coach.
Yep.
So
now, where'd he come from?
Yeah, that's a bizarre hiring right there. Callahan's been out of. I don't know where he's been, but
coordinator.
Gee whiz, that's knocking off the mothballs on
Bill
that guy.
Callahan, the guy that coached the Raiders in the Super Bowl.
Brian Callahan. Brian Callahan.
Okay, I'm wrong. I'm totally wrong.
He was an offensive coordinator for the Bengals.
Okay.
Bengals.
That's the guy they brought from LSU, isn't it, Dan, to coach him at the professional level? To coach Joe?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Sure it is, dude. Yeah.
Well, Joe Brady was the coordinator with the. But
Brady was the coordinator when we won the national title.
Okay.
But the Callahan, the new head coach, is the son of Bill Callahan.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I used to call him Tick Boy because he's always doing this with his mouth. I didn't understand it. But anyway, okay. So, look, the Gerard Mayo one and the Tennessee hiring. Look, Tennessee's idiots for getting rid of Vrabel, if you ask me. I mean, sorry. They're dumb for getting rid of him. So neither one of those teams are going anywhere. I don't think New England's going to bounce back very soon either. They just, look, it's hard for teams to lose a great player and continue on. I mean, the Packers have been lucky. The 49ers got lucky when they had Steve Young in reserve. I mean, that is the rarity in the NFL.
Yeah.
What more than likely happens is that you suffer after a great player leaves, like New England's doing now, and they're going to suffer again. They're going to keep suffering until they find the next guy that can do something.
I think the real question is
Matt Jones is on the chopping block.
What is it?
Matt Jones is on the chopping block.
No, he needs to be.
He's gone.
Shit.
I'm curious. Is Mayo going to have the same philosophy for draft picks? We got a top. We got the 20th pick of the draft, and good old Belichick be like, we need to trade it. Let's trade it out of there and get 10 picks later.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. ETEP, when he was talking about Brister, he was talking about his days in Pittsburgh because, I do remember that. Neil O'Donnell stepped off the bench for him that year. Yes. When he, some people say he was paid to throw those balls to the eventual MVP, those interceptions he threw in the second half of that game against Dallas.
Which Neil O'Donnell, I think, was a quarterback for the Steelers whenever they played Harbaugh and the Colts.
Yeah, he was. Bubby Brister was their starting quarterback before. During that season, and he got hurt during the season, and Neil O'Donnell took him the rest of the way. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so today's game, boys and girls, rematch of Super Bowl 54. Here it is by the numbers. 2nd-ranked offense, 9th-ranked offense for the Chiefs. I guess those numbers are. I guess you could say they're accurate, but as far as I'm concerned, if you're going to make a notch for quarterback, the Chiefs have that one. I mean, I don't think anybody can argue that we're seeing one of the greatest talents the NFL's ever seen play the game. I think the cover of Madden 22 when Brady and him were both on the same cover, I think that was kind of a passing of the torch kind of thing. This guy is the next great one. Defensively, the Niners are 8th and the Chiefs are 2nd. Now let's talk about that a little bit. The Niners defense is stacked. It is stacked with great players. But
they are small up front against the physical run game.
That's what I was going to say.
They are.
If you can run the football, they can be had.
Pacheco runs angry.
Yeah. Depends on who's doing the commentating. Some people say he runs like a 12-year-old girl in ballet class, but I mean, he just takes really short steps. But you know what? Yeah. That keeps your foundation underneath you. So, I mean, it looks funny, but it works, man. That's for some reason, Pacheco, I've always thought he was a wide receiver, kind of like Deebo Samuel. I always thought he was a wide receiver. They made into a running back. I mean, he doesn't look that big, but he must be tall or something because that guy does run with some force, man.
Well, that's the thing. He's got low pad level. He runs with high energy, and and let's not discount the fact that I don't think they're teaching a good form tackling anymore. So if you get a combination of a violent runner going through the hole, more oftentimes than not, he's going to be breaking tackles because they don't tackle anymore. It's shoulder hits. It's bouncing off. So. Yeah, the 49ers, they're light on the defensive ends. They're great pass rushers, but if you run those power sweeps at them, it's been shown that they can be had.
Yeah, and they're going to run the ball. I mean, as much as Andy Reid loves to throw the ball in the regular season, he turns to the run a lot in the postseason. He really does.
And McKinnon, Jared Jet McKinnon is in the lineup today.
Oh, yeah.
He's off IR. And
what about the LSU Tiger, Edwards-Helaire? Is he in there?
Oh, he's still there too.
The forgotten back.
The forgotten back. That
no reason whatsoever.
I don't understand it, man.
That Kansas City Chief offensive line is for real. They're going to have their way. As far as I'm concerned, they're going to get theirs, and that's going to be the game right there. I always say this: the game is won or lost at the line of scrimmage. And for me, the nod definitely goes to Kansas City. They're just a more physical team on both sides of the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's see. The passing game, 4th for the Niners and 6th for the Chiefs. I think that 6th number is kind of inflated by drop balls this season, but that hasn't been happening in the postseason. It really hasn't.
But you're not going to convince me that the Chiefs wide receivers are better than the 49ers wide receivers.
No, not at all. If you had to put a checkbox next to the wide receiving core, it's definitely the 49ers.
And I'm
they have the better
McCaffrey
group.
over Pachenko any day.
Yeah. Well,
I like Pachenko, but McCaffrey is just too good.
I'm taking McCaffrey over on pretty much every running back that's out there.
pretty much.
I will give you that.
Well, here's the like I said, I just watched 54 again not too long ago, and you look at the guy that was really hurting that Chiefs defense, and it was the fullback, man. It was
Juszczyk.
Juszczyk. He scored the first touchdown for the Niners. He was catching all kinds of stuff in the middle of the field, man, and it was really hurting the Chiefs defense. They weren't accounting for him, and you know what? I love to see a fullback make noise. I really do. Do the Chiefs have a fullback? Do they even have that position?
Nope.
They don't.
They used to. Who did they used to have, John? They used to have a guy there that was
Sherman.
Years. Sherman. That's right.
I've got. It's one of those T-shirt jerseys, but he was one of my favorite players.
their last fullback, basically.
The Jets jihadist is here. How you doing, Admiral T? Good to see you, brother.
We're not talking about them today.
No,
they're literally
according to Teague. Today's game is a simulation. The Jets won it last week in the real world. We're in the Matrix right now, watching the simulation.
I refuse to get pulled into talking about Jets today.
I do like how late in the year, Cook was like, "Hey, Jets, release me," and they're like, "Okay." Like,
yeah, no problem.
Why?
I can play with the Ravens.
Why would you release him? Yeah. There was no benefit to that. Yeah.
No benefit to that at all. Yeah. They could have traded him in the offseason.
What a waste of a pickup, too. Yeah. I feel bad for that guy.
But these numbers here. Now, you look at, once again, these numbers, I don't think they're deceiving, but I think 19th in rushing, that's simply because of their play calling. Here's the thing. A lot of the Chiefs' run game is screens. A lot of it is screens. So those end up in the passing alley. So, that's you got to consider that when you look at those.
Plus, they apparently only like to run with Pachenko, and Pachenko was hurt for good portions.
Yeah, he was. So. Down the stretch he was. He wasn't really running that much.
Several games.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Being interesting.
So quarterback, I think we all can agree the better quarterback plays with the Kansas City Chiefs, but Purdy's playing well. So and he's surrounded by better weapons. No doubt. You would put the checkbox with the wide receivers of the 49ers. No doubt. I don't even think John would argue that at all. You give the running back nod to the 49ers. I mean, their entire backfield is stars. And then when it comes to the front line, though, I'm with my brother. I give the front line nod to the Kansas City Chiefs when it comes to
even
offense.
with Allegretti stepping in for Tooney.
Yeah,
because he's out with I think it's a pec injury.
Mm-hmm.
I think he tore his pec.
Yeah,
and who's that turnstile that the Chiefs have?
You're always bitching about, man. Who is that guy?
Oh, he's not there anymore.
Oh, he's not. Okay.
Really?
Okay.
No, Wiley went somewhere else, and then the other one was Orlando Brown Jr. and he went to the Bengals thinking he was going to win a Super Bowl championship there.
Yeah.
I thought there was somebody this year. Who's the one? Wasn't there someone getting like false starts all the time or something like that?
Oh no, that's the false start guy. That's Juwan Taylor. Yeah,
that guy. That's who I'm thinking about.
Yeah, he's an Achilles heel. No doubt.
He's not a turnstile. He's just
pre-snap. He needs to hold his water. Yeah, that's it. I have noticed he gets flagged a lot. He does.
He was the most flagged, most penalized player in the NFL this year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now to route out the position groups, you got to talk about tight end. Now you give the advantage, I think, to the Chiefs, obviously,
of course,
because there's not a player in this league who is slower but can find holes like no tomorrow, like Kelsey.
Well,
it makes no sense to me.
Well, and they've got two other guys too.
Yeah,
or technically that
their room is good. Yeah, the guys that are playing second and third fiddle are pretty good for the Chiefs too.
Noah Gray's a decent catching quarterback. But Blake Bell is probably one of the best blocking tight ends in the league.
Goal line tight end. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Let me say this about what Knock was just saying, though. I think my brother Dan always talks about tackling being a lost art in the league. I'll tell you something else that seems to be a lost art in the league that the Chiefs coach really well. It's not just Kelsey. I think they do it with Kelsey, though, more because of chemistry. They coach coming back to the quarterback whenever they're in trouble. Yep. I can't tell you how many times I see in a game these guys just giving up on their routes when they see the quarterback running and not coming back to the ball. I mean, Dan, it wasn't that a fundamental of the NFL? Wasn't
well, you also have to consider, because of the way the rules have changed, it's more an offensive league. In these scramble drills, these guys are taught to take off.
Yeah.
A lot of times they're taught to take off, go deep. Yeah. If you can especially if you're behind the defense, go deep. If he scrambles out to the right or left, a lot of these guys are actually coached to go deep. It just depends on what your responsibility is, where you're at on the field, what defense you're against. But,
so you're saying Kelsey's being told, okay, find the spot, come back to the quarterback and find the spot.
Oh, absolutely, because he's running those short to intermediate routes, so he's going to be in a better position. Those wideouts, a lot of times they are taught to take it deep. See if we can get behind. You're already behind the defense anyway. If he can get a shot, they're going to take that shot.
Yeah, absolutely right. Don't forget about Kittle. Absolutely. I mean, it's the difference between a Kittle and a Kelsey is very minimal because, dude.
Well, the difference is the quarterback.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
you put Kittle over there in Kansas City.
He'd look just like Kelsey, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he's a great tight end.
Kittle doesn't have an F.
He's really good.
I just hope Kittle doesn't have an F Chiefs shirt on because.
Oh my God! Right?
Things tend to happen when he wears those shirts.
Things tend to happen when he does that stupid shit, doesn't he? Doesn't he, man?
Well, Kelsey's really a master of finding the open space.
Yeah.
But he does the little things too. Like he does a great job of shielding his body whenever the ball's coming in.
He does the basketball thing very well. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he's a big man. That is a big human being right there. He's got great footwork and great hands.
Well, and I think Highlander was talking about Pachinko getting his pads low. Kelsey gets his pads low after the catch, and he runs about 6 inches off the ground, so it's hard.
Yeah, he does. I've noticed that. As tall as he is, he can go up and get a ball, but when he's running with the ball, he gets low. He does.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hard to tackle him. Yeah. He's going to get
low pads win. Remember John Rathman for the 49ers? The guy ran parallel to the ground, and he was a hard tackle.
Yep. Absolutely. So that does the offensive side. Now the defensive side, defensive line. Oh, I got to give it to the Chiefs, man. The Young is not showing it to me with the 49ers. Bosa is a great pass rusher, but Chris Jones can do it all. That guy can do it all. He can stop a running game. I could see him being the nose tackle in a Belichick defense. I could see him doing that. You know what I'm saying? That guy is.
Well, again, that interior presence, that interior disruption on an offense is crippling because, a quarterback can deal with pressure and they can step up in the pocket. When it's coming right in your face, you can't step up. And then if you like to run some crossing, some screens, some off tackle stuff. If you're still getting penetration right up the middle, that just disrupts everything you're trying to do offensively.
You have to double and triple team this guy, which leaves some other guy on the line free to blow your play up. It's such a disrupting force. It really is, man.
And the Chiefs have great tackling linebackers.
Yeah, they do.
I don't know
the name of
and
any
these guys
of them.
get to the running backs.
Don't know any of their
Nick
names.
Bolton and Leo Chenal.
Yeah,
are
they
3
tackle.
starting linebackers.
I got to go 49ers with the linebackers. Though.
I think the
best
linebacker on the field is Fred Warner, no doubt. He is the best linebacker on the field, but he can't play by himself. What's the guy next to him's name that got the turnovers in that one playoff game this year? What is his name? Don't know, Knock?
I don't know.
No, I'm
for some reason Bridgewater's coming to my mind, but I know that's wrong. It's something. I think Waters in his name somehow, but he got a couple of turnovers this year. But I really think if you're looking at the linebackers as a whole, I think you have to put that check box on the Niners side. For me, I give the Chiefs the front line, but the Niners part, the Niners get the linebacker checkbox for me.
We get the secondary.
Yeah, I could see that because
Greenlaw.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't know why I was thinking Water was in his name somehow, but Greenlaw was the guy that plays really well. Yeah, I have to give that checkbox to the Niners, the linebackers. Yes. The Chiefs play well when it comes to tackling and stuff like that, but so do the Niners. And the Niners, look, if you fuck up, they're going to get some turnovers on you. Those linebackers will take it away from you. It's proven.
That Chiefs defense has locked down some really good offenses in this playoff.
Yep.
And the 49ers defense has been giving it up.
They've been giving it up, no doubt. It was a track meet against Detroit. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the secondary, I think that goes to the Chiefs as well. Even though they lost the Honey Badger, he went home to the Saints. Yeah. They still get it done. That I don't know if that was Spags' specialty was secondary, but he coaches them up, man. He's got them playing like a bunch of world beaters.
Well, we've probably got one of the best cornerbacks in the league right now, and that's L'Jarius Sneed.
Yeah,
he locks everybody down. He puts the clamps on everybody. He doesn't care who you are. Yeah. Look what he did to Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
Tyreek Hill got that one playoff because he stumbled a little bit, and after that, it was like Tyreek Hill wasn't even a factor.
Subtracted him from the game. He did, and I mean,
I don't know if I agree with that entirely. No one man can cover Tyreek Hill. You cover multiple people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Sneed did that all by himself.
But, he got injured in that game too.
Hill was injured too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I was talking about Hill getting injured. Yeah.
No.
Okay. So total check boxes. It sounds like, it's pretty even, but it sounds like the nod goes a little bit to Kansas City.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man.
Well, I believe after that comment, it is time to go ahead and pick this game. And I am picking the Kansas City Chiefs because I think both teams are really good, but they've been there this is the fourth time in 5 years that they've been there. So, and
is there anybody on the panel that doesn't think the Chiefs are going to win this game?
Wow. Really? Why do you think they're going to win it, Dan?
Well, I think they're the more well-rounded team, both offensively and defensively. They're balanced on offense. They're just getting better on offense as far as the wideouts, because that was their weakness. But they're running the ball well. These guys are coming around and they're catching balls in crucial situations. They're strong at the point of attack defensively. They're smothering. They've only just kept getting better as the years gone on. I don't see any weakness. And plus, they know how to get it done. They know how to get it done. And you see that in their body language. Anytime they face adversity,
they never look
in
like
these
they're
games.
in trouble.
No,
yeah.
They expect to win, and they do the little things. Number one, blocking and tackling. This team is fundamentally sound, and they just don't beat themselves. And I think they're going to win today.
Knock?
Well, I'm obviously rooting for the 49ers, but you got Andy Reid, you got Mahomes, and you have that Chiefs defense. And if the 49ers fall behind, it's not going to be like the Lions. The Lions defense is not that great. What they need to be doing is looking back at when the Buccaneers beat the Chiefs. You hold them to field goals, then you got a shot.
Mm-hmm.
But that I think this that matchup between Mahomes and Andy Reid is just too good. I think they're gonna be overly physical over the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I want the 49ers to win, but I think in this case the Chiefs are undefeated since they sat Tony. It's just kind of they've mitigated the bad plays. Even what's his name, Scanley, has been stepping up, and they
I was shocked as shit. He got a catch in the last game. I was like, what the fuck?
And I think McKinnon is John mentioned him earlier. I think McKinnon is a huge boost, especially as a catch out of the backfield. You use Pachenko on the run, you use McKinnon out of the backfield, and pass to him, and that's what he's for.
Mm-hmm.
So he won the game for us last year.
Yep.
It's just, unfortunately, and then
it's hard for Knock to say because he's not a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, no, and then my favorite part of the whole thing is I want to see Taylor Swift on the field with Kelsey and see that proposal. So I'm ready for it.
I love that one. Check out Teague. He says NFL is super excited. No need for two different kinds of confetti cannons. That's right. They can
They're slightly different.
They can use red and yellow and be just fine.
They say there is something psychologically that allows red teams to be more successful in sports. I don't know what it is, but
man. Okay.
Yeah, I think I'll pick the Chiefs, but I think if anybody can beat them, it's probably the Niners. But I don't know. The Chiefs, winning in sub-zero temperatures against the Dolphins, going on the road against the Bills, going on the road against the Ravens. If they beat the Niners, that's an impressive, 4 games there in the playoffs.
That cements it. I think that cements definitely
the dynasty that I already think exists. I already think it exists.
By the way,
this was the main question going into the playoffs: was can they win on the road?
I was trying to think about dynasties, and you got the Steelers in the 70s, the Cowboys in the 90s, and then the Patriots had basically 2 dynasties.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Would you the Redskins won 3 in 10 years? Is that a dynasty? 3 and 10. They went one more time in between there where they didn't win.
I want to say that's a great head coach, though. Gibbs deserves to be on the Mount Rushmore of coaches.
3 different quarterbacks.
3 different quarterbacks, and what really makes me think, wow, what an odd thing. It probably never happened again. 3 different nationalities.
Yeah.
He led the first African-American quarterback to a Super Bowl victory, right? Yep. And then he did it with Joe Theismann. And then he did it with an American Indian, Mark Rippon.
Yep.
He's an American Indian. And so
they're all Americans though, right?
Yeah, they all are Americans. I just thought it was interesting, I think my favorite out of the bunch though was Rippon's Redskins, man. That team, you want to talk about explosive football teams, man. I don't remember a game that season where Rippon wasn't ripping a 50-yarder down the field that got completed. Like they were doing 7-on-7 drills, man. It was ridiculous how many points.
Meanwhile, Dan Snyder never sniffed a Super Bowl. So
never did. Nope. Sure didn't. Yep. But anyway,
I'm going Chiefs.
Yeah. John, let's hear about your team. I know you want to talk about your team.
Well, I'm not going to take anything away from the 49ers. They're a good team. They've got a lot of strengths.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we've got the edge.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I don't think they're going to – I mean, what they're going to do is they're going to double team Chris Jones, and Karlaftis is going to eat their lunch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Somebody else is going to get open to come kill Purdy. Yeah, right.
Yeah. But no, I think it's going to be a slobber knocker, as good old JR would put it.
Yeah.
But I think we'll win by a field goal.
I don't know what I think they're going to win. I don't bring points into it. The only thing I do with points is I count up points, the points they should have scored, the points they pass on. I count these up and I hold it against them vigorously. Yeah. And that's how I watch these games. But I got to tell you, I think the Chiefs are going to win. But here's the scenario I see of beating them. They have to study to what Highlander and Knock have been talking about. They have to study the Tampa Bay footage. They have to play containment on you guys and try and force field goals. I mean, that's what they've got to do.
They do.
And that, I mean, that's the only answer you've got against a team like that with a quarterback like that. And I've said several times, I mean, watching 54 the other day, that was the worst I've ever seen Patrick Mahomes play in a big game, in a postseason game. He threw 2 picks in that game. It was horrible looking. The 49ers defense really put him under some pressure in that game. They sacked him a few times. He was rattled. But there down the stretch, like all the great ones do, all of a sudden the mistakes went away and he got everything done and he brought them back. And I mean, I forgot how late in that game he brought them back, so you've got to always worry about that when you're playing this team. But the Niners, they can beat them. They can do it.
Ask the Bills how long it takes us to beat them.
But the pressure is all on their quarterback. Can he continue to play within himself, let the game come to him, and make all the right reads and deliver the ball? Can he do that? Here in the postseason, he's made some mistakes. He can't have those mistakes today. He's pretty much got to play a perfect game to win this game. Like my brother said earlier, if I was the Chiefs, I would be pounding number 10 right down their throat the entire game, because that is the weakness of this team. They are light in the pants in the middle, and that's where you got to exploit them. Expect a lot of Kelsey and Pacheco, a lot of guys in the middle of the field. That's what's going to happen
when
today.
when they get used to that. You throw to McKinnon out on the flat, on the edges. Mm-hmm. When they get used to that, then you start hitting Kelsey in the middle.
Yeah, the middle of the field. That's where it's going to happen for them today. Well, anything else? I tell you, what I want to get out of here on. You hear we're all on the Chiefs. I want to go around the horn, and I want you to tell me your favorite Super Bowl moment. I'm going to hold mine till last. I think my brother
Peyton Manning choking like he always did in the big games and throwing the interception that sealed the Super Bowl for the New Orleans Saints. Best play ever.
You and Matt might have the same one. I don't know. Yeah, I saw that one a lot this week. For some reason, that was you out. What am I saying? For some reason, it's Super Bowl week. My brother put it up. I did see it on your feed, didn't I?
Yes, you did. God bless Terry Porter. Thank you.
Tracy Porter. Yeah, he was awesome, man. He jumped that like he knew it was coming, man. It was pretty awesome. Yeah.
There is a Terry Porter though. Former NBA player. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. No doubt.
Yeah. Knock, favorite Super Bowl moment, brother?
It's got to be Cam Newton getting strip sacked.
The business decision? That's your
not
favorite?
Not the business decision.
Let me finish. I'm not done. No, it's not that one. Although that's a close second. No, it was the one where it gets swatted back into the end zone and Malik Jackson gets on it. It really set the tone for that game. That was the tone setter of that game.
Yeah.
And we scored a touchdown on it.
Okay. Matt, favorite Super Bowl moment?
Oh, I'm trying to think. The Cowboys and Bills. Was it Don Beebe? Was that his name? The guy that ran down Leon Lett?
Ran down, God, the big cat.
Leon
Lett.
Leon Lett.
Yeah.
That poor guy. Look, he was the foundation of that defense. But all he's remembered for is costing them the biggest blowout in Super Bowl history.
Yep.
Right?
Leon Lett.
Don Beebe chased him down and knocked it out.
Hey.
And he's also remembered for that fucking game in Dallas when he frickin' tried to get that fucking blocked field goal.
Just don't touch it.
Just don't touch it. And he tried to fall on it. And oh God. Yeah.
By the way, Leon Lett, Jamarcus Russell, and Kadarius Toney are all from my area. So we're high IQ down here.
Oh man.
I don't know if you want to go broadcasting that, man.
Yeah.
But that's your favorite one? Really? That's it right there?
I'd have to go with that one, yeah.
Yeah, no shit. Okay.
Well, I'm not going to go, Seahawks on the goal line on you. I'm not going to go there.
I was just thinking about that one too.
I've seen that one a lot this week too. Let's see. Let's see. John, favorite Super Bowl moment?
Well, it's hard to pick. I mean,
I'm going to say it's within the last 5 or 6 years.
Hang on real quick. I got to read this one. ETEP says, Jamarcus Russell can't spell the word.
But he can spell purple drink.
But he'll tell you that he knows how to spell it.
Oh, my God.
But you have to test him.
What a bust that guy was. Jesus. He looked like a world beater at LSU.
I mean,
oh, God.
You could pick any Montana Rice connection in the Super Bowl.
Any Montana Rice? I think his greatest connection was the one with Stallworth, or not Stallworth, but was it Stallworth? Is that his name?
No,
that's
John Taylor.
Taylor, that's it. John Taylor.
Yeah,
John Taylor. Yeah, that's it. I think that's the best one they had. But yeah, any one of the ones against the Broncos? You mean in that blowout? The biggest blowout in Super Bowl history?
Those don't count.
I think the 49ers just score on the Broncos again.
Yeah. So
the Dolphins.
And somebody brought it up, the 85 Bears with the fridge scoring that touchdown.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
But I have to say one-legged Mahomes.
One-legged Mahomes. Okay. Tell me what that is. I don't know what that is.
When he was hurt during the Super Bowl? Like, are you kidding? You don't remember that?
No, I don't remember
that.
How do you not remember him limping around everywhere?
I don't remember it.
Wow.
He was on one leg the entire Super Bowl.
Really?
Previous
He went out once.
Previous drug use.
You remember we talked about it earlier. Henny had to go in and go down the field.
And he
score a
just marched
touchdown.
Down the field.
Yeah, I just don't remember him limping that visibly limping a lot. I don't remember that. No,
he had a high ankle sprain. He played through the whole championship, the playoffs.
Yeah, I think he was hamming it up actually because he was videoed out on the dance floor after they won that Super Bowl. So he was hamming that up a little bit.
Oh man. Well, I tell you, my favorite Super Bowl moment was Adam Vinatieri's kick to beat the Rams in the 2001 season. It was 2002 when they played the game. One of the biggest upsets in Super Bowl history when the New England Patriots won their first Super Bowl. That is my favorite moment ever because that entire game, it's a family thing with me and Danny. We're sons of a guy from Boston, and we were brought up to be Patriots fans. I know you guys were expecting me to say something about the Seahawks-Broncos game, but that was not it. That one was special to me because my brother was so worried about that game, man. He had the closest seat to the TV set. He was pulled up there, and he's like, and I was just pumping him up. I was like, we're going to do it today, baby. Don't worry about it. And we both got drunkard shit. And my mom was there, and he was out in the street talking to Dad on the phone, and you could hear him inside the house. My mother told me to go out there and get him before he got arrested. It was so fucking funny. It was great. It was a great family moment. That's my favorite one ever. And
that was a good game.
I guess leading up to it was actually hearing. One. Okay, all right. Actually, leading up to it, I gotta say, hearing John Madden second guess himself on the final drive was fucking fantastic, man. Because when he saw them spread out and about, because they had just tied it up, the Rams had, and it was under 2 minutes, and they were deep in their own territory on the kickoff. It was inside the 20 they started from. And John Madden's going, I don't know if I agree with this, at the beginning of the drive. And then halfway through the drive, he's like, well, maybe I was wrong about this. This guy is real, and by the time they kicked the field goal, he goes, what Tom Brady just did gives me chills. That was his exact quote, Yep. So yeah, that's my favorite one. My
last one.
Okay.
Prince's Super Bowl show in the rain.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Prince's Super Bowl show in the rain.
The best halftime show ever.
Yeah. Okay. Really,
I got you. By the way, not to beat a dead horse, but Kenny Stabler, that E-Tech mentioned, he's also from my area and also had a bunch of DUIs. So, we're still batting 1,000, down here. Also, Kenny Stabler looked 50 years old when he was like 30.
No shit. He did. He was like Steve Martin. He friggin' aged quickly, man. No doubt about it. All right, boys and girls. Anything?
I got one last.
Go for it. I was about to go around the horn and say what else you want to say before we get out of here. Go for it, Knock.
We're sticking along the vein of the Super Bowl moments. You gotta. I think the biggest upset to me in my generation has got to be the Giants and undefeated New England and the catch. The catch.
Oh.
I think that
David Tyree's name will be burned into the
only time
skulls
like a second catch of the year
fan for the rest of time.
Yeah.
And I saw something not too long ago. I can't remember which quarterback did it, and it was during the playoffs. They had this guy surrounded. It might have been Mahomes did it. They had this guy surrounded, and he pulled out of it. He actually got out of there and threw it downfield and completed a pass. And I said, he just Eli'd him. I can't remember which game that was, but I refer to it as Eli'ing someone now. When I see a quarterback get out of a sure sack. No, it was Purdy did it for the 49ers. They were playing, I think it was when they were playing the Packers. And this guy had him dead to rights, and he got out of it. And completed a pass downfield. I was like, yeah, he just friggin' Eli'd him.
Oh yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, Matt, is Plexico Burris from your area? I'm curious.
No, but he really shot himself in the foot. I mean,
he really did.
Oh man, there's so many to pick from, though. I mean, Danny will probably agree with me on this one. That killer Pittsburgh team from the 70s, their first Super Bowl in the 80s. They were playing the Rams and were losing at halftime, and friggin' John Stallworth, the guy I was thinking about earlier, caught a friggin' 50-yard bomb from Terry Bradshaw to bring them back in the second half of that Super Bowl. And I'll never forget that. And I heard them talking about it afterwards, and John Stallworth was like, he said he looked back for the ball and he said, "Oh shit, you overthrew me." He said I had to get on my horse to go get that ball. He said because I thought for sure he'd overthrown me. That was an awesome one to me.
That was awesome. The other one for me personally is still Steelers, Cowboys, Doomsday against the Steel Curtain.
Yeah,
Bradshaw stands in his ground.
Yeah.
And threw that bomb. I don't know that he ever saw it.
He didn't.
But that's what won the game for me. I mean, it was coming down on it, and they crushed him, but he let it go, and he hit his man, and they won that Super Bowl.
Yeah, I wish I could find it. It was on VHS. It was a great Super Bowl moments video that I had, and he talks about it. He said he threw that ball, and the next thing he knew, he got hit really hard, and he doesn't remember a thing until Brent Musburger, who was a friend of his, he was a reporter at the time. He wasn't an announcer yet. And he said the next thing he remembered was waking up in the locker room on a table, and Brent Musburger's got him by the jersey, shaking him, going, "You did it, big guy. You did it. You did it." He said that's the next thing he remembered.
Oh, did Bradshaw say, "Hey, did we win?" And they said, "Yeah, you won at life." Was that the?
No.
Was that what he said?
No, that's not what he said.
Seems to be a big one.
But anything else anybody wants to mention about the Super Bowl? I mean, I remember all. I've watched them all. If you ever want to know which Super Bowl is being played, just ask me how old I am, because I'm the same age as the Super Bowl.
I'm just relieved that Taylor made it. That's all.
Yeah.
Well,
wouldn't be
there was
a game without
like
Taylor Swift, right?
If there was like a no-fly zone around the Super Bowl, maybe if you had to be driven in, Pat Mahomes Sr. could maybe drive her to the.
No.
Yeah. Did you have to go there, man? I tell you what, NFL memes had a ball with that. When that happened. Oh my God. It was so great. Oh man.
I'll drive. No.
All right, boys and girls. Well, it's all about the game now.
Yeah, I gotta go get some beer.
I have got to go get ice for the party. We're having a party here.
What do we got? Can we do that real quick? What do we got? What are we thinking for dinner, guys? What do we got? What are our dishes?
Oh shoot, we got chicken and beef fajitas going on over here. Rhonda's already working. She's already working on it, bro.
We're having a taco bar at my sister's house.
Nice.
What you got, Dan? What's Cafe Kim got going on today?
I don't know, man, because I may or may not watch this game, so I don't know if we have anything special going on. Yeah.
Wow, bro.
What? Ban him.
Nah, I can't ban him. He's my brother.
Well, don't they have?
He can just unban himself.
Don't they have like the Puppy Bowl going on too? So you got things.
Oh man, the Puppy Bowl.
Are they still doing the lingerie bowl at halftime? That would be cool. It was cool, man. It was cool. Cool alternative. If you didn't like who was playing at halftime, But anyway, okay. So let's get out of here and get ready for our individual parties. Well, you didn't say what you're doing, Matt. What are you doing for the game?
Oh, as far as food, it's probably some ham, some lima beans, and rice. So really exciting stuff going on here.
I'm probably gonna order a pizza.
Man? You're not doing that today?
Probably not.
Okay. All right. Well, let me catch guys up with what's going on with the channel. Of course, you've been watching Super Bowl 58 pregame party. Thanks for coming. We always have a good time talking football, and that's all it is. It's a bunch of friends getting together talking football. And tonight, after the game, I want to say about a half an hour after the game's over with, whenever CBS is done with their broadcast, a little bit after that, we're going to get together again for the 2023 wrap party. So you guys, if you're up late and watching the game and want to see us review the whole season, just like I said, bunch of friends, and I'm sure we'll have a buzz. I know I will by the time that
I probably will too.
Around. So it should be fun. I know you won't. You can't drink until March. We know about that. But anyway, you guys come check it out. No specific time. It's basically about a half an hour after the broadcast, because they got to do that thing I hate. I've never understood going into the losing team's locker room and asking them how they're feeling. I've never understood that one.
How do you think I'm feeling? I
just once I want to see the guy punch the reporter. I think that's why they send girls in there to do that now, so they won't get punched. You know what I mean? It's just one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. But anyway, when CBS is done with all of that, come check us out. We're going to talk about the season and how it unfolded and everything, and the game itself. So come check it out. We're going to be having a good time after the game tonight. And then tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Central Time, if I'm up, I'll be on Military Monday with Gary. He's doing Sicario Day of the Soledad, the sequel to Sicario. Come check that out at 10 a.m. Central Time on Military Monday. And then, of course, It's Only Talk and Roll comes your way at 4 p.m. Central Time on That 70s Rock Fans channel. And tomorrow, it's just going to be a chill stream. Basically, we're just going to get together and talk about stuff we dig. So you guys come on over and say hi to us over there on It's Only Talk and Roll on That 70s Rock Fans channel at 4 p.m. Central Time. And then I start my streaming week on Tuesday night with Papa Joe Gamer After Dark, video games, cocktails, and fails. And I'm going to be playing Star Wars The Force Unleashed Part 2 this week at 10 p.m. Central Time. And then, of course, on Wednesday, it's State of the Atmosphere, pop culture, movies, TV shows, and games, all the stuff we dig. We talk about all of that on Wednesdays starting at 5:30 p.m. Central Time for a couple of hours. And then shortly after that, at 8 p.m. Central Time, didn't you say you're switching back and forth between Uncharted and Pal World? Okay, Pal so at next. 8 p.m. on Game Night with John on Pop Culture Minefield's channel, you can check him out playing Pal World this week. And also, he plays on Friday nights at 8 p.m. on Pop Culture Minefield's channel. And there he's about to wrap up.
I wrapped it up.
Oh, you already wrapped it up. What are you doing this week then?
I have a poll up on Twitter, on X. It's up on my channel or on my personal Twitter.
Okay.
I also posted a link to it in the Pop Culture Minefield group and in the State of the Atmosphere group.
All right.
So people can vote.
1 second. Let me get it real quick. Hang on.
Which game that they want to see me play for Fridays.
Okay. So let me get a link to that. All right. There it is.
Oh,
okay.
Definitely Detroit Become Human.
So copy.
100%. And it's already looked like one vote. Yep, that's my vote.
Let's see.
Love that game.
You got. There's the link to the poll. You guys go hit it and help him choose which game he's going to play on Friday night, because he's done with Baldur's Gate. I'm going to have to go watch that. Wrapped it up this Friday?
Yep.
Is that what you did? Okay.
I wrapped it up and got the epilogue in. So.
All right. Very cool. All right. So go check that out, guys. He does it every Wednesday and Friday at 8 p.m. Central Time on Pop Culture Minefield's channel. And then on Friday, you can watch me sketching The Privateer, the story of America's Pirate Patriot. My passion project I've been writing for over 20 years is now coming to life. On my iPad Pro using the Procreate program, I'm inking the book now. You guys can watch me do it for about an hour before I go to work on Fridays at 1 p.m. Central Time. And also, I want to give you the new lineup for Sundays. Now that football season's over, I have a new lineup on Sundays. First of all, Highlander and I get together and do the Brothers Hack the Matrix. It's moved from Thursdays to Sunday evenings at 5 p.m. Central Time. We had a good group last week. You guys come see us. And it's just me and Dan talking about the headlines of today, showing you what's going on in the clown show that is 2024. So come check that out. And then later on that evening, it's the MFer Roadhouse with Jed, Sam, Ruben, and myself. We're going to be doing that one. It's just a knock around show. There's no telling what we're going to talk about on that one. If you guys know Jed, there's no telling what we're going to be doing. But that's the permanent panel bunch. He's going to have other guests on, but we're going to be doing it on Sunday evenings. I want to say it's going to be around 8 or 9. He's on the West Coast, so it's going to be later. And then I'm going to be playing video games after that show. Papa Joe Gamer After Dark is going to come your way probably about 11 p.m. Central Time. So for myself, the Highlander, Knock, Small Time Republic, and Das Wolfen, I want to thank you guys for being here. And until we see you again, I want you guys to keep on keeping on. God bless. And by the way, Bobby McRae needs to go to jail for the lick he's about to put on Kurt Warner. We'll discuss after the trailer.
Best hit ever.
I mean, straight up should have gone to jail. They should have put that man in cuffs.
Best hit ever.
I cannot wait for Taylor Swift to win the Super Bowl tonight. To be honest.
Oh my God.
You know what? That's an illegal hit today, Dan. You know that's an illegal hit today. You know that.